10 personal finance strategies you can't afford to ignore. Are you working harder than ever, but still feel like financial freedom is slipping further away? What if I told you that 80% of Americans are making the same 10 mistakes that virtually guarantee they'll be working into their 70s instead of enjoying the retirement they deserve? Here's a truth the financial industry doesn't want you to know. Only 20% of Americans achieve true financial freedom before age 65, and it's not because they had higher incomes. In fact, studies show that many middle-income earners who follow specific financial strategies retire wealthier than professionals earning twice as much who ignore these principles. We've been conditioned to believe that building wealth requires complex investment knowledge, extraordinary income, or extreme frugality. But that's simply not true. The real difference between those who achieve financial independence and those who struggle isn't what they earn. It's the financial strategies they consistently apply year after year. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on 10 powerful financial strategies that the wealthy use to build substantial net worth regardless of their income level. Strategy number 7 has helped ordinary people increase their net worth by 300% in just 5 years, and it has nothing to do with picking stocks or cryptocurrency. By the end of this video, you'll discover the simple system that could potentially cut 10 years off your working life while increasing your retirement income by 40%. I'll also reveal the counterintuitive approach to spending that actually accelerates wealth building rather than restricting it. If you're ready to break free from the work-spend cycle and build real wealth that lasts, type financial freedom in the comments below. Then stay with me as I share the exact strategies that have transformed my financial life and could do the same for yours. Strategy number 1, the 1% daily rule. Have you ever felt overwhelmed trying to completely overhaul your finances? That's because most people make the mistake of attempting massive changes that aren't sustainable. What if I told you that improving just 1% each day could transform your financial life within a year? This is the power of incremental improvement. Instead of trying to cut your spending by 50% overnight, which almost never works, focus on making tiny 1% improvements daily. Maybe today you save $3 on coffee by making it home. Tomorrow, you might spend 15 minutes researching a better cell phone plan that saves $20 monthly. These small actions compound dramatically over time. Let me show you how powerful this is. If you improve by 1% daily for 1 year, you end up 37 times better than when you started. That's not 37% better. That's 37 times better due to compound growth. Apply this to your spending by finding one small expense to optimize each day. For savings, increase your automatic savings rate by just 1% every month. With investments, learn just one new concept weekly. None of these actions feel difficult, but together they create an unstoppable financial momentum. The key is consistency. Track your 1% improvements in a simple journal or app. You'll be amazed how these small changes accumulate into substantial financial progress without the burnout that comes from dramatic overhauls. Remember, financial success isn't about perfection. It's about constant small improvements that compound over time. What's one 1% improvement you could make today? Strategy number 2, building your financial automation system. Have you noticed how the most successful people in any field create systems rather than relying on willpower? Your finances should be no different. The second strategy that can transform your financial life is building what I call a financial automation system that works while you sleep. Here's the brutal truth. Your willpower will eventually fail you. No matter how disciplined you are, having to manually make the right financial decisions dozens of times each month is a recipe for eventual failure. The solution? Remove yourself from the equation. Set up a 3-account system. One for daily expenses, one for emergencies and short-term goals, and one for long-term investments. Then automate the flow of money between them. When your paycheck arrives, it should automatically distribute into these accounts before you ever see it. That's the pay yourself first principle in action. For example, 60% might go to your spending account, 10% to emergency savings, and 30% to investments. Once established, this system ensures you're building wealth consistently without having to make active decisions every payday. The magic happens when you create what I call fortress assets, money that's deliberately difficult to access. Your investment account should require extra steps to withdraw funds, creating a psychological barrier against impulsive decisions. Start small if needed. Even automating $50 per paycheck is better than nothing. The system can grow as your income does, but the architecture remains the same. By removing emotional decision-making from your finances, you'll achieve results that once seemed impossible. Strategy number 3, the 150-300-500 investment rule. Does investing seem complicated? It doesn't have to be. I've discovered a simple framework I call the 150-300-500 rule that makes investment decisions crystal clear, regardless of your income level. Here's how it works. $150 monthly is your starting point. This might sound small, but it's the psychological threshold where investing becomes a habit rather than a burden. At this level, you're training your mind to prioritize long-term thinking. Even at modest returns, investing $150 monthly from age 25 to grow to nearly $500,000 by retirement. Once comfortable, aim for $300 monthly. This is where substantial wealth building begins. This level typically allows most Americans to achieve a comfortable retirement, especially when started before age 40. It's a sweet spot between achievable and impactful. Finally, $500 monthly is the accelerator that can dramatically shorten your path to financial freedom. At this level, you're likely outpacing most of your peers and building significant wealth. Over 30 years at average market returns, $500 monthly grows to over $750,000. The beauty of this framework is its flexibility. If $150 feels impossible right now, start with $50 or even $25. The specific amount matters less than establishing the investment habit. As your income grows, simply move up the ladder toward the next threshold. Remember, investing isn't about getting rich quick. It's about becoming wealthy inevitably. Which threshold could you realistically reach in the next 90 days? Strategy number 4, the 10-5-3 risk management formula. Have you ever noticed how many financial success stories completely ignore risk management? That's like building a beautiful house with no foundation. It looks impressive until first storm hits. Strategy number 4 is about protecting what you build with my 10-5-3 formula. First, dedicate 10% of your income to building an emergency fund until you reach 6 months of essential expenses. This isn't just conservative advice. It's your financial shock absorber that prevents setbacks from becoming disasters. Without this buffer, even minor emergencies can derail years of progress. Next, allocate 5% toward proper insurance and asset protection. This includes health insurance, term life insurance if you have dependents, disability coverage, and appropriate liability protection. Think of this as your financial immune system. It might seem unnecessary until suddenly it's everything. Finally, develop 3 different passive income streams beyond your job. This can include dividend stocks, rental property, a side business, or content that generates royalties. When one income source falters, and eventually one will, the others keep your financial plan moving forward. The wealthiest people I know all follow some version of this formula. They build wealth not just by acquiring assets, but by protecting them obsessively. Remember Warren Buffett's famous rule. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. What's your weakest area in this formula right now? Is it the emergency fund, proper insurance, or diversified income? Strengthening your weakest link often yields the greatest returns. Strategy number 5, overcoming financial mindset barriers. Did you know that your deepest financial challenges probably aren't about math or knowledge, but about psychology? I've seen brilliant people with advanced degrees make terrible financial decisions, while others with modest education build impressive wealth. The difference? Their financial mindset. We all have money scripts, unconscious beliefs about finances formed in childhood that influence our adult decisions. Perhaps you believe money is the root of all evil, or wealthy people are greedy. These beliefs create invisible barriers to wealth that no investment strategy can overcome. The breakthrough comes from financial self-awareness. Start a money journal where you record not just transactions, but emotions around money. When you feel anxiety making a purchase or resistance to investing, ask yourself, what belief is driving this feeling? Often, You'll discover limiting patterns you didn't know existed. Next, deliberately replace fixed financial thinking with growth-oriented beliefs. Instead of "I'm terrible with money," try "I'm learning to manage money better each day." This isn't just positive thinking. It's rewiring your financial operating system. Perhaps most important is breaking the feast and famine cycle many people experience. When money arrives, they celebrate with spending. When it's tight, they become overly restrictive. This emotional roller coaster prevents consistent progress. The wealthy maintain emotional equilibrium regardless of financial circumstances. Practice making rational financial decisions in both abundance and scarcity. Your most important financial asset isn't your income or investments. It's your mindset. What unconscious money script might be limiting your financial potential right now? Strategy number 6. Life stage investing instead of market timing. Have you noticed how most investment advice focuses on predicting market movements? Is the market overvalued? Should I buy now or wait? Yet studies consistently show that even professionals fail at market timing. What's the alternative? Life stage investing. Aligning your strategy with your age and goals rather than market predictions. In your 20s and 30s, embrace growth-oriented investments with higher volatility. With decades until retirement, temporary market dips become opportunities rather than threats. Your portfolio might be 80 to 90% stocks during this phase, using the formula 120 minus your age to determine your stock percentage. As you enter your 40s, begin the gradual shift toward preservation. This doesn't mean abandoning growth entirely, but rather introducing more stability through diversification. Your concern should focus on consistent contributions, not daily market movements. By your 50s and beyond, protection becomes increasingly important. Having built substantial assets, your priority shifts to maintaining them while still allowing for enough growth to offset inflation. This is when regular portfolio rebalancing becomes critical. The beauty of life stage investing is its simplicity. Instead of anxiously following market news or trying to predict the unpredictable, you make adjustments based on your own predictable life timeline. Market crashes become less terrifying because your strategy already accounted for your proximity to needing the money. Remember, the biggest threat to your wealth isn't a market correction, it's an emotional reaction to that correction. Life stage investing removes emotion from the equation by giving you clear guidelines based on time, not headlines. Strategy number 7. Creating positive leverage effects. What if I told you that the truly wealthy rarely rely solely on their own efforts? They understand something most people miss. Positive leverage can multiply your financial results exponentially. This isn't about dangerous borrowing. It's about intelligently amplifying your capabilities. Positive leverage comes in 3 forms: knowledge leverage, time leverage, and network leverage. Knowledge leverage means using information and technology to achieve more with less effort. Today's financial apps, robo-advisors, and automated investing platforms can optimize your finances in ways that require professional money managers just a decade ago. Time leverage involves designing systems that work while you sleep. Think dividend-producing investments, passive business models, or automated savings plans that continue generating value without your active involvement. While others trade hours for dollars, you're creating perpetual financial momentum. Network leverage might be most powerful, surrounding yourself with people who elevate your financial thinking. Studies show your income typically averages that of your 5 closest friends. Who's in your financial circle? Are they pulling you forward or holding you back? I've seen this strategy transform lives dramatically. Take Michael, who created a simple algorithm to automatically track local real estate trends. This knowledge leverage identified undervalued properties before others saw them. Combined with network of investors, network leverage, and rental income systems, time leverage, his net worth increased 300% in just 5 years. Start small. Which form of leverage could you implement this week? Could you automate one financial task? Learn one new financial concept? Or connect with someone who's already achieved your financial goals? Strategy number 8. Building your invisible asset portfolio. We're often fixated on tangible assets, stocks, real estate, cash in the bank. But what if I told you that your most valuable assets might be completely invisible? Welcome to strategy number 8. Building your invisible asset portfolio. Invisible assets include your skills, professional network, reputation, health, and knowledge. Things no market crash can erase. While tangible assets fluctuate with economic conditions, invisible assets often appreciate regardless of market cycles and provide unique competitive advantages. Consider skill development as an investment. Learning high-income skills like coding, digital marketing, data analysis, or sales can generate returns far exceeding traditional investments. A $2,000 specialized certification might increase your annual income by $20,000. That's a 1,000% return in the first year alone. Your professional network is similarly valuable. Studies show up to 85% of positions are filled through networking rather than public applications. Each meaningful connection represents potential opportunities, information, and resources that can dramatically accelerate your financial journey. Health might be the most underrated invisible asset. Without it, your earning potential and ability to enjoy wealth diminish significantly. Regular exercise, proper nutrition, and stress management aren't just health investments, they're financial ones too. The wealthy understand this principle intuitively. They typically invest more in themselves than in external assets, especially early in their wealth-building journey. Warren Buffett once said his most valuable investment wasn't stock. It was a Dale Carnegie public speaking course that transformed his ability to influence others. What invisible asset could you develop that would yield the highest lifetime return? Remember, no market fluctuation can take these assets from you. Strategy number 9, value-based spending audit. Have you ever looked at your bank statement and wondered, where did all my money go? You're not alone. Most people confuse spending with value, but they're not the same thing. Strategy number 9 is performing what I call a value-based spending audit, a revolutionary approach to cutting expenses without sacrificing happiness. Start by tracking your spending for 30 days. Then, rather than categorizing expenses traditionally, food, entertainment, etc., categorize them by the happiness value they provide. Rate each expense from 1 to 10 based on how much genuine satisfaction it delivered. What most people discover is shocking. Their highest expenses often correlate with their lowest happiness scores. That $100 cable package might rate a 3, while the $15 coffee with a close friend scores a 9. This insight allows you to strategically eliminate low-value spending while protecting life-enhancing expenditures. Calculate what I call your cost per happy hour. Divide the expense by the hours of genuine satisfaction it provides. A $60 dinner that brings 2 hours of enjoyment costs $30 per happy hour. Meanwhile, a $15 book that engages you for 10 hours costs just $1.50 per happy hour. This metric reveals your most efficient happiness investments. Next, identify your financial black holes, recurring expenses delivering minimal value. Most people can eliminate 20 to 30% of expenses without any meaningful reduction in life satisfaction, simply by redirecting resources from low value to high value spending. Remember, the goal isn't deprivation, it's intentionality. By conducting this audit quarterly, you'll develop remarkable clarity about what spending truly enhances your life versus what's simply draining your resources. What's one expense you suspect might be a financial black hole in your budget? Strategy number 10, creating your 5-year financial runway. What separates those who achieve financial freedom from those who remain stuck? I've discovered it's rarely about income or investment returns. It's about having a clear 5-year financial runway that creates unstoppable momentum. Your financial runway is a strategic path connecting your current position to your next major financial milestone. Unlike vague goals like save more or invest better, a proper runway includes specific milestones, necessary resources, and clear timelines. Start by defining your 5-year destination. Perhaps it's a $100,000 investment portfolio, purchasing a home, or launching a business. Then work backward to create quarterly targets. For a $100,000 portfolio, within 5 years, you might need $1,250 invested quarterly plus reasonable growth. Next, identify your income/lifestyle gap, the difference between what you earn and what you need for comfortable living. The wealthy systematically widen this gap, increasing income through raises, side projects, and strategic career moves while maintaining stable expenses. The power of the strategy comes from visualizing the runway itself. Create a visual timeline showing each milestone and track progress monthly. This transforms abstract financial goals into a tangible journey with clear checkpoints. Perhaps most importantly, your runway should include planned financial jumps, strategic moments to make larger moves. This might be transitioning careers, relocating to a lower cost area, or consolidating debt at favorable terms. These calculated jumps often accelerate progress dramatically compared to incremental improvements alone. The average American retires at 67, but those with clear financial runways often achieve financial independence 10 to 15 years earlier. The difference isn't luck, it's strategic planning with consistent execution. What would your ideal 5-year financial destination look like? And what's the first milestone on your runway toward it? We've just explored 10 financial strategies that can completely transform your relationship with money. These aren't just abstract concepts. They're practical tools that can help you build wealth regardless of your starting point or income level. From the 1% daily rule to life stage investing to creating your 5-year financial runway, each of these strategies addresses a different aspect of your financial life while working together as a comprehensive system. The beauty of these strategies is that you don't need to implement all 10 at once. Financial transformation happens gradually, one decision at a time. I recommend choosing just 2 strategies that resonate most with your current situation and focusing on those for the next 30 days. Maybe it's automating your finances and conducting a value-based spending audit. Or perhaps it's overcoming your financial mindset barriers and building your invisible asset portfolio. Which strategy resonated with you the most? Comment strategy #_ below to let me know which one you're planning to implement first. Your comment not only helps others discover these powerful concepts, but also strengthens your own commitment to taking action. If you found value in these strategies, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Next week, I'll be sharing a detailed framework for calculating exactly how much money you need to retire comfortably based on your desired lifestyle, a formula that has helped thousands determine their true financial freedom number. Remember, financial freedom isn't some distant, unattainable goal reserved for the privileged few. It's the natural result of consistently applying proven strategies over time. As Warren Buffett wisely noted, no special talents are required to be financially successful. All you need is a reasonable framework and the ability to control your emotions. You now have the framework. The rest is up to you.